Okay, so this video is going to be to introduce you to StatCrunch. So StatCrunch comes with your homework by StatLab, and you're going to need to use this in order to make your homework reasonable in terms of the amount of time it takes. So I've opened up a problem here from your homework, and I want to show you how to access StatCrunch. There are two ways. If you have a data set in your homework, there's usually a button next to it like this one. So if you click on that button, it says Open in StatCrunch. If you click on that, it will send it straight to StatCrunch. If that button is not available and you think StatCrunch would help you in your problem, you can also access it through Question Help. So click Question Help and click StatCrunch, and it'll open it up for you. If you have the button next to your data, though, click that one because it brings all the data over for you. You don't have to type it in, so there's no possible mistakes there. So see how here it's brought over all the homework, or all the data set for us. Now let me show you some different areas of StatCrunch that you will be using in this course. So if you go to Stats, go to Calculators, Summary Stats. This is the first that you're going to need. You want to summarize your columns. So here I have two different columns of data. So if I click on Summarize the Columns, I can choose which one I want them to summarize. You can click both if you just hold down Control and click the second one, but I don't want to confuse you, so I'm just going to do one. So I'm going to take the first one. There's other things you can select here, but they've selected plenty. Don't worry. Just go ahead and click Compute. You'll have everything you could possibly need. So in your homework, it's going to ask you to find the mean sometimes. There's your answer. It's going to ask you to find the variance. There's your answer. Standard deviation. There's your answer. There is a formula on the formula sheet to calculate these. You don't have to. Standard deviation and variance, I will not ask you to calculate by hand. Use StatCrunch. On your test, I would be giving you these and ask you to interpret them. So interpretation is my focus, which is why I want you to use this program. I don't want you to calculate everything by hand. That's not the purpose of this course. The purpose of this course is for you to learn what the numbers mean. And that's where I'm going to focus on your testing as well. Let's see. Median, range, min, max, quartiles, those I can ask you to calculate. Mean, I can ask you to calculate by hand. Variance and standard deviation, though, you really will not be asked to calculate by hand. The only ones you'll have to calculate by hand for standard deviation and variance are when you're doing it for a probability distribution table. But you'll see that in your homework, and I'll show you how to do that. Alright, what else could you possibly need? So something else you might need is the calculator for, I don't know, binomial, maybe? I know we'll do a binomial chapter. So I think I show you how to use this in your video. So what this does is you enter in your number of trials. If you don't know what this is, that's okay. Come back and watch this video again later when you need another StatCrunch tool. So you just enter in the number of trials, you enter P, the probability of success, you figure out how many successes you're interested in. Are you interested in less than or equal to 5, greater than or equal to 5? Maybe you don't want 5, maybe you want 10. Whatever you need. You just click Compute, and it computes it for you. If you need a probability of successes between two numbers, so you want how many are success between 3 and 6, then you just switch over to the between at the top there. So that's the binomial one. You also have the Poisson calculator, same setup. If you need the probability of success between two numbers, you click the between and it does it for you. Binomial only requires, this is Poisson. Poisson only requires you to enter the mean, not the M and P here. So just make sure you understand what to enter for Poisson. Okay? You also have, let's see, the T. Oh, you're definitely going to need T. This one you're going to use to find your p-value. To find your p-value, you need degree of freedom. Remember, that is your n minus 1. Then you're going to have to say which tail. So in this case, I have the left tail. If I want the right tail, I just switch it over. So it highlights it for you. So if I say I want 1.7, maybe that's my t-value. Now notice they use an x here, but this is a t calculator. So when they put x, they actually are talking about t. So if I want all the t values greater than or equal to 1.7, this would be my p value, that area, and this would be the area there. Okay? If you need, we don't ever do between, but if for some reason you do, you just switch over to between. You usually want standard. You usually want the tail, which would be one side or the other. Let me see what else we have. I think that's it in there. Summary stats. Let's see. Alright, this one you'll need in Chapter 10. Chapter 10, you'll need the regression. So under Stat, Regression, Simple Linear. So you choose your X variable. Now, you'll have to bring over your homework. In this case, luckily I have 2 columns, so I would pick my X and pick my Y. This actually doesn't make sense because of the data type it is. But in Chapter 10, you'll have 2 columns, one for X and one for Y. Just press compute. These numbers don't make sense because of the data set, but that's okay. I can still show you. So right here, this is your correlation coefficient R. That's an answer to a question. R squared is this guy right here. That's an answer to another question in your homework. This line right here is the equation of the squares line, the best fit line, the regression line. I don't remember exactly which way we call it. Depends on which problem you're on. But anyway, this is the line of best fit. That's what we call it. So this is your y-intercept, and this is your slope. You can also see them down here. So here is my y-intercept, and here is my slope. So those are different questions you'll need in Chapter 10, or different answers you'll need in Chapter 10. So that's for Chapter 10. I feel like I think that's it. Yeah, that should be everything. So if you have any questions about my StatCrunch, let me know. I also cover these in the videos, but I wanted you to have one place to go back to, because in Chapter 7 and Chapter 8, you're going to have to be able to do standard deviation. So I showed you how to do standard deviation. Stats, calculators, nope, summary stats, columns. This is going to be useful multiple times in this course. This data is going to be something you have to find, not just in Chapter 3, but also in Chapter 7, 8, 6, all of those. So this is just a quick place to come back and get the recap on where to find stuff. Good luck.